The Atman, the source self, the universal self. I want to speak about this self today, and I want to really send you the message on how I really want to send you the message on how to connect to this self, to that inner state of consciousness that is represented by higher awareness, higher knowledge, higher harmony, alignment. Now, if you're into my YouTube channel, feel free to subscribe, leave a comment, and if you wish to work with me personally, feel free to send me a private message by leaving a comment. And if you want to be part of my spiritual podcast called Consciously Awakening, feel free to also send me a message. Now, what I'm coming to realize is the fact that we are always guided by our higher self. We are always guided by our true inner being. Now, the thing is to actually learn to stay connected to this self, to this higher self. And we stay connected to this higher self by embracing and listening to what we feel, okay? What we feel is our guidance emotional system. It is the GPS for creating, for expressing, for being the true self. Now, if we feel disconnected from this self, we also experience pain and suffering. But what I'm coming to realize is the fact that it's also okay to be disconnected from yourself, because you learn how to connect again. You learn how to connect again, okay? So in Hindu tradition, the Atman is the universal self. It is really higher awareness, higher consciousness. It is the inside out expression. Okay, it is the expression that represents higher cosmos. It is the expression that represents higher awareness and knowledge. Now, what I'm coming to realize is the fact that if I want to really get to know myself, I have to look within myself. So if you get to know yourself, you will get to know the universe. Now, the more that you look within yourself for answers, is the more that you find the secret there, and the secret really is within ourselves. It is really getting to express and getting to acknowledge what our strengths and weaknesses are. It is about getting to know what our thought patterns are. And it is about self-expression. The more that you express yourself is the more that you raise your energy, is the more that you raise your consciousness. So my suggestion is, if you want to get to know yourself, ask yourself the big questions like, who am I really? What is my purpose here? What is my expression signature? Okay, how do I want to see life? What is the purpose of life? What is the purpose of my consciousness? And usually the answer to these things is within ourselves. It is within ourselves. Now, I'm realizing that the more that I get to see what my thought patterns are, is the more that I get to know stuff about myself. The more that I look deep within my fears, is the more that I get to know stuff about myself. And I'm realizing that it's not always easy to face our fears, but it is essential to face our fears, because through facing your fear, you get to actually release energy. You get to actually release stuck energy. You get to really see what your consciousness is about, okay? So it's about really getting to, day by day, getting to move forward with life and getting to create your own reality with the thoughts that you have, okay? This is how to connect to the Atman, to the higher self. Get to actually be in that expression of yours, because that is super important, to get to create something, to get to be someone, to get to actually know yourself in the process, okay? So what I'm coming to realize is the fact that when we are connected to this Atman, to this higher self, we are experiencing potentialities. We are experiencing potential of creation. And whenever we are feeling connected to this source self, we are realizing that everything that is happening externally and internally is actually happening for us. It is our job to get to extract the gift out of the experience, the emotional gift out of the experience, and really step back into the vibration of love. Okay, the more that you are connected to the vibration of love, is the more that you are connected to that high version, to that high energy, to that high frequency, because love is the most powerful energy in the cosmos. Love is the most powerful energy in the universe. So my suggestion is, try as much as possible to stay connected to that love vibration. The more that you are connected to the love vibration, is the more that you get to actually increase your consciousness field of awareness, is the more that you increase your vibe to a new level, okay? So really the Atman is your true version, your true self. It is the higher self. It is the self that operates as love, as freedom, as intuition. It is the self that wouldn't act against your free will. It is the self that loves you unconditionally. It is the self that knows everything about yourself, but in essence that is actually you. Okay, you are that higher self, you are the Atman. So I'm realizing that we are receiving messages from our source self. We are receiving messages from the other side of existence, which is the spirit realm. Okay, whatever you are thinking, whatever you are feeling is actually coming from a higher source. It's coming from a different source than this 3D reality. And when you are connected to this source, you realize that your consciousness can actually explode into higher awareness. Okay, it is the field of the spirit, it is the field of the higher self. It is the state of forgiveness. It is the state of higher abundance, higher frequencies, and higher emotions. Okay, so I'm realizing that I always receive messages from my higher self. Some of them I accept them, and some of them I'm not, because sometimes I get to question these things, you know, I get to question stuff about myself. But what I'm coming to realize is the fact that the guidance from this higher self is based on flow, on creativity, on power, on completeness. Okay, the more I get to see who I am in the process by listening to these messages, is the more that I expand my consciousness. Okay, so yes, this is today's message about the Atman, about the higher self. It is about trust, guys. I'm realizing now that I gotta trust myself no matter what. I'm realizing now that I gotta be my best version no matter what. So it's about trusting yourself. It's about really getting to know your inner source, your inner feelings. It's about staying relaxed in the process. It's about not taking things so seriously. And it's about really moving into that high version of yours, which is the Atman, which is the higher self. Okay, so this is today's thoughts. These are today's thoughts on the Atman, the higher self. This is how to connect to it. And yes, guys, realize that we are guided from above. Okay, we are, in essence, we are gods and goddesses. We are warriors and queens. We are pure, higher conscious beings. Everybody on the planet has an Atman. Everybody on the planet has a higher self. And that higher self is about knowledge. That higher self is about integration. That higher self is about higher frequencies. That higher self is about forgiveness. Okay, I'm realizing that each experience is meant for us to really learn something out of it, and each experience gives us the purpose of life. Each experience gives us the purpose and the meaning of us being in tune with ourselves and really getting to step into God mode, which is actually the mode of love. Guys, thanks for watching. This is today's message on the Atman, or the higher self. It is based on higher frequencies. It is based on love. It is based on forgiveness. It is based on trusting. It is based on not giving up on yourself. Get to know yourself and you will get to know your higher source of consciousness. Get to know yourself and you will get to know the universe itself. Guys, thanks for watching, and this is today's message on the higher self. Much peace, and see you on what is coming up next. I love you so much. Namaste to you guys. I love you.